Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of The Shooting Show, and welcome, friends, to this week's program. We really do appreciate you being here, because without you, our viewers, there'd be no point in us doing this program. There'd be no point in us doing all our shows that we think are so important, and we do appreciate your support, because your dollars are what has kept us on today. We are selling the MechTechs. Yes, they are being shipped. So they had sort of a backlog built up at first, so we're about a couple of weeks behind as far as delivery, but that's not much, and trust me on this one, friends, it's well worth the wait, and we anticipate to even close that gap on delivery. You can buy the MechTech from us here on the program for $325. After the first of the month, it's going to go up to $345, which is still a bargain, and it'll fit any kind of scope on this Weaver rail, or it'll take any kind of scope, or certainly one of the great dot scopes. The MechTech company is going to have iron sights that you will be able to purchase directly from them this summer, and you can retrofit the iron sights if you so desire. And that's going to be available sometime this summer, and you'll be able to use either your scope, your dot scope, or the iron sights. There are plenty of 10-round magazines out there. This one is from Chip McCormick. But there are a number of good companies making 10-round magazines for the 1911. These are just tremendous buys, friends. And remember, $325 at the moment. By the time you see this, it'll probably go to $345 retail. And I tell you, it's still a great bargain. So we invite you to call us here at the program. And certainly you can call MechTech Direct. But every one of these we sell helps us stay on the air. Plus, it gives you the most powerful and most practical weapon of its type that has ever been available here to anybody for anything. So it's just an amazing concept these folks have done. Also, our pistol kits now are available from us right here at the program to turn your 1911 into a 44 Magnum power handgun, and the kits are just $275 plus shipping. The MechTechs are $345 plus $12 shipping. Our shipping costs now are about $7.50 on our pistol kits, and certainly you can get these from us here at the program, and we're still doing that special offer. It's going to $595 for both of them, the MechTech and the pistol kit, for $595 plus $15 shipping gets both of them there. So friends, these bargains, and that's what they are. And I tell you what, if I wanted a gun, if I plan on buying a gun this year, even if I had to go to the bank and take out a loan, I'd go ahead and do it, because their Slickmeister, Bill Clinton, and his group are talking every day about how they can disarm Americans. Some might say, well Johnny, small arms, you know, compared to tanks and all, we don't know how important they'd be. Well, the Clinton administration and the New World Order people must think they're awfully important. Look how hard they're trying to take them away from us. Isn't it amazing how these folks are afraid of the American public? They're not afraid of the criminals. They're not worried about the criminals. That's irrelevant to them. What they are is they're afraid of us as patriotic Americans. I tell you what, friends, they're picking on the wrong people, because the patriotic Americans here, some are children of immigrants who fought so hard to get here at all. We've got a lot of very fine. Want to commend the Cuban Americans, very patriotic Americans down in South Florida and other cities too. Immigrants who know what it's like to live under repressive regimes and are here as patriotic Americans. Some of us have been here a little longer than that. Our family's been here a little longer. Some of us are descendants of people that fought at Gettysburg, and some at Concord, some on the beaches of World War II. So friends, they're picking on the wrong people, and they must be terribly afraid. Why is a government afraid of its own citizens? Simple reason. That government must be doing some things that a lot of its citizens don't want them to do. Isn't that amazing? That's not rocket science. The governing body is doing things, or is doing something that we as Americans don't want them to do, so they can continue doing their skullduggery, doing their antics, their shenanigans, but so they won't have any problem in converting us to the New World citizen under the New World Order with their internationalist society. They've got to disarm us. They know it. We know it. We're going to let them? No. Some of us aren't. Some of us aren't. We invite you to join us. If you think our programming is important, if you think our radio show is important, if you think this television message is important, please help us stay on the air. Send whatever you can. We appreciate any size donation, because let me tell you what, those dollars do add up after a while. If enough people send dollars, especially if someone sends $25 or $30 or even $100, that means so much here to our program. So we do appreciate your contributions. Our standard shooting show address, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That's zip code 71024. Put this down for just a moment. Now, friends, if there was any doubt about where our country was headed, I think this newspaper article could be captioned, "Hello, we're from the government. We're here to help you." Or it might be captioned, "Welcome to Police State America." Friends, if this doesn't wake some of our slumbering friends up, I don't know what will. You know, they've said over and over after Ruby Ridge, Idaho, after Waco, Texas, oh, well, our procedures were wrong. We had the wrong procedure. What do you call this? What kind of procedure is this? Just as illegal as can be. They don't care. They don't care. That's why we've got to do something about it. Here's a way you can learn about what to do or how to do something about it. This book is called Why Not Freedom by James Ronald and Walter Donald Kennedy. Friends, this is it. This is a manual for reclaiming peacefully our country. It's doable. Please get this book from your local bookseller. You can order it. Why Not Freedom by the Kennedy brothers. So please, friends, trust me on this one. You'll understand when you read the book. Absolutely. We've got to take back our rights from these clowns in Washington. We've got to bring our rights back to you and I at the local level. We know better in our communities how our country should be run than these clowns in Washington, these unelected bureaucrats, my gosh, much less these people at the United Nations in New York. That's why we got to kick them out and get our government back to the people. The states formed the federal government. The federal government did not form the states. That's why we've got to reclaim it. Well, let's start another shooting show. We have a great show for you today. We've got some volunteer water bottles out here at 100 yards. Let's just take our 460 pistol here, this great Kimber, see what it does. Not hard. Let's take the MECTEC. You know, the MECTEC bullets, our 460 bullets coming out of the MECTEC, they get there a little quicker. Yes, indeed. Orange juice bottle, 12 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now friends, here's one of the most important publications you can get. This is a great Georgia Arms catalog, and please write their phone number down, 1-800-624-6861. This is a tremendous catalog with the best ammunition prices available in the United States. Okay, well, here's a mention of the shooting show. Hey, that's reason enough to support them right there, but you get superior ammunition at superior prices. Let's look over here. Whoops, let's see, what do we see? 460 Rowland, yes indeed, but we also see a tremendous number of other things. 45 ACPs, 44 Magnums, 41 Magnums, certainly our defense load there, defense special 41 Magnum load available, but all kinds of others. 9mm, 357 SIGs, 44 specials, 30-06s, 7 mags, all kinds of neat stuff. Plus they have components. If you want to load your own, they'll sell you lead bullets, they'll sell you nostril bullets, all kinds of great features. Yes, in fact, they'll even sell you a 460 Rowland kit for the great 1911 guns. Cleaning accessories. Here's gunpowder for sale, loading equipment for sale. Friends, give them a call today. These are some of the finest people, period, that I've ever had a chance to meet. Curtis Shipley and our good friend Larry Haney from Georgia Arms, and they're helping to support the shooting show. Give them a call today. Get a free catalog, 1-800-624-6861. And please don't forget to tell them you saw it here on our show. Well, friends, we're going to talk about some really important things today. A lot of people have misconceptions about shotguns. Many people think that all you have to do is point and pull the trigger on a shotgun and you can hit your target. Remember, this is a popular misconception, especially in our news media. Well, let's just point over here and pull the trigger and see what happens. Guess what? Our target is unharmed. You even have to aim a shotgun. There is no substitute. You can't just point and pull trigger. Won't work. On any repeating firearm, even this pump shotgun, and especially the semi-automatics, and I do mean especially, and yes, that does include even our MechTech, as reliable as it is. You know, smokeless powder, even though it is much less smoky, say, than black powder, that's why it was such a huge difference, and they called it smokeless powder, but it still leaves some smoke, some residue every time a shell is fired. And on the auto-loading guns, even our MechTech, for best functioning, every 100 or so rounds, couple of hundred rounds max in a shooting session, you should clean the chamber. And it's easy to do here on our MechTech because the clean chamber, the smooth surfaces in the chamber are what ensure the gun functioning like it's supposed to. Now the semi-automatics, regardless of what type it is, are also tougher on brass. And again, realize this happens very fast. This bolt works, and I don't care what it is, and especially after every shooting session. If you're going to depend on a gun for home defense, or if you're really going to depend on it to work, you should clean that chamber and run a patch down the barrel. But it's very important to clean your chamber after shooting sessions, because what will happen is you'll have a little bit of residue left in your chamber, in your barrel, and that creates friction. And semi-automatic guns require smooth surfaces on which to work. That's how they work. So a small tip there that could save you a lot of grief, especially in a life and death situation. Even the pump action guns, even the manually operated guns like this pump action shotgun, it helps to clean your barrel and clean your chamber after a shooting session, especially if you're going to put the gun up, you're not going to shoot it for a while. Trust me on this one, you need to clean that chamber, clean that barrel. That will alleviate so many headaches. We recommend on the MechTechs cleaning the chamber and the barrel after every shooting session. Realize it's a blowback. Now, what we're talking about here, that barrel needs to be cleaned so it'll have proper function. These things are as reliable as any semi-automatic device I have ever seen, but For best functioning, you need to keep that chamber and certainly run a patch through the barrel, but it needs to be cleaned. That residue will build up, it will get harder, and it will cause you difficulties with your brass. So something that really needs to be said, certainly on handguns too. And I'm not a stickler for cleanliness on this 1911, but let me tell you what, I keep that barrel and chamber clean because I may have to use this gun in defense of my life. Just takes a few minutes. You know, cleaning kits are cheap. Gun cleaning oil is inexpensive. It only takes a few moments with a patch or whatever else. And just a small tip we want to pass on to you.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
And let me remind you, you can call our friend Dennis Crocker for these great Kramer holsters for your handgun. They make a special model for our 460 guns, but also models that fit many other handguns. Give Dennis a call today, area 864-587-8722, and please tell him you saw it on our show.
Friends, we have a variety of things we want to show you. See this hammer right here? This is your standard hardware store, discount house, available everywhere hammer. Well, guess what? Friends, this hammer, what won't we do for our audience, right? This hammer is a formidable weapon. I mean, a formidable weapon. They're available without a waiting period. You can buy them in large quantities, a few dollars a piece, find them everywhere, and let me tell you what, terrible weapon. The little camp axe, available almost anywhere. Terrible weapon. No Brady bill. Terrible weapon. And look, the common machete. Common machete, get them anywhere, no Brady bill. Hey, a couple of 100,000 Rwandas can't be wrong, can they? Now, friends, these are just items that are commonly available that are terrible weapons wielded in the hands of a nut. You know, things like this and anything else can be pressed into service. This 2x4 is a terrible weapon. Easily wielded. So guess what? If it comes back to this, if it comes back to weapons like this, suppose you're attacked with someone with a machete, or a hammer, or an axe, or a 2x4. What are you going to do? Well, some of us who believe in the concept of self-defense are going to draw our handgun and we're going to settle the situation. You know, it irritates me to no end when I hear people say, well, handguns are just designed to kill people. Not so. They're designed for self-defense. And this is the greatest equalizer that has yet been invented when we have people of differing sizes, differing ages, differing physical statures. The handgun is the great equalizer. tell you, friends, it's a beautiful afternoon. The jasmine's in bloom, and it smells so great out here, mixed with a little, a little gun smoke, you know. Really inspiring to be outside having fun. You know, I've been around a lot of shooters over the years, and occasionally I've been in someone's home and I ask them, do they have a gun for home defense? And they'll wag out some sort of scoped rifle that, yeah, this is my home defense gun. Boy, I tell you what, there's nothing to get past this. Okay, let's see. Well, let's just pretend we have Buster Badfellow here at close range. And of course, this also translates to in the hunting camp around dangerous game, or the possibility of having dangerous game up close. Let's see what that target looks like through that scope at close range. Now see, friends, we can see old Buster out here easily, but let's throw up our scope. We'll turn it sideways so we can get close to the lens. Oops, where's he at? Oh my goodness. You can barely see him. It's sometimes you get to see him, but you see the scope is totally impractical for finding your target up close if you had to defend yourself. So instead of trying to find old Buster in your scope, which is going to take you he'll be on you before you can do anything about it, this is where the open sights come into play, where you can deal with Buster quickly. And you'll notice, let's take a look at this. Now, friends, take a look at the hole in old Buster's head here, and notice that's not a slug now. That is a number 7.5 shotgun shell out of a 12 gauge shotgun. Yes, this is out of a Van Comp barrel, which does hold it a little tighter, but still at the closer ranges, this is what your shotgun pattern is going to look like. So friends, for home defense, yes, I've seen people with handguns, with revolvers, with 2 to 6 scopes on them. Not the way to go for self-defense. If you do have a scope like one of the dot scopes, that gives you, most of them give no magnification. You got to have something you can see quickly that's not going to throw off your field of view. This is definitely not a home defense situation. The little rifle can be used for home defense, but with open sights. And certainly the shotgun is an awfully good example here of easy to see open sights on your gun. And you know, this stuff is so simple. Those of us who shoot guns, those of us that have been around guns a little bit, but we have a lot of people buying guns, and they flatly don't know. And where else are they going to find out? You know, nowhere else on television this kind of information is going to be talked about.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The occasional school shootings that have been magnified in the media to proportions of epic disaster can be greatly curtailed, but not by more gun control laws. The solution is quite simple. Enable adults to carry concealed firearms in schools. Such an easy thing to do, of course, meets with howls of disbelief from those advocating civilian disarmament. Their disbelief is actually one of the best evidences that the aim of gun control is to disarm everybody but the government. Gun control advocates claim that a gun in the hands of a teacher, principal, janitor, or some other adult in a school is more dangerous than an armed killer with the only firearm at the scene of the crime. Disarmament activists want to live in this fantasy world no matter how much their views do not match the real world. Gun controllers are convinced that all they need to do is pass more restrictions on gun ownership, and the bad guys will get the message and stop committing crimes. Also part of their fantasy world is an upside-down view of who you can trust. Gun controllers are willing to trust bad guys to obey the law, but insist on viewing the whole population with grave suspicion. You and I are viewed as too crime-prone, and certainly too irresponsible to be trusted with a firearm, much less a concealed firearm at a school. My recent trip to Israel yielded proof that guns save lives and that disarmament kills. In 1974 in Israel, there was a dreadful attack on a group of school kids, killing over 30. After a national debate, the country's parliament, the Knesset, decided that bad guys would not obey additional Israeli gun control laws. So Israel set about arming principals, teachers, and in some of the conflict zones, parents, to protect students at school. When I was in Israel, it was very common to see young men in their 20s protecting groups of school kids sightseeing in Jerusalem or elsewhere in the country. The only time school kids have been killed since 1974 in Israel was when a group of students were touring a peace shrine on the Jordanian border and were told to leave their guns before entering. A Jordanian soldier was able to kill some of the defenseless students. Guns really do save lives, but not if we insist on laws that ensure that only the bad guys will have them. This is Larry Pratt in Washington.
Now, friends, Gun Owners of America is the only no-compromise, 100% pro-gun organization in the Washington, D.C. area. If you'd like information on how to get involved or join Gun Owners of America, give them a call at 1-888-886-GUNS, 1-888-886-4867, and please remember to tell them that you saw it here on our show. Now, friends, we want to remind you a broadcast copy of our shooting shows are archived at Jim's House of Videos. You can reach him at area 318-869-0439 or on the internet at www.jimshouseofvideos.com. And let's go to our support group. We have custom leatherwork in Saddlery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. All kinds of leatherwork. You can call them at area 225-667-9225. And for your communications needs around Albuquerque, New Mexico, call Brooks Communication at area 505-888-2929. And if you need your gun stock painted, call Camouflage Technologies. Their number is area 909-674-6488. And for heavy equipment rentals in Southern California, you can call Gearlings Equipment Rentals. Their number is area 909-354-6476. Friends, we've run out of time on today's program. Please remember that you can order the MechTech and also our 460 pistol kit from us right here at the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Duberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. And please remember that we're here in part today thanks to your donation. So if you can please help us remain on the air, please send whatever you can. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the next show.